What if the greatest threat to humanity didn't come from a war, a pandemic, or even an asteroid? What if the real danger lurked somewhere far beyond the stars, a place we could never predict? A rogue planet, one that had been drifting aimlessly through the cosmos for billions of years, now barreling straight toward our solar system. It sounds like the premise of a science fiction movie. But what if it was real? What would happen if such a planet, a celestial wanderer, entered our solar system, changing everything we thought we knew about the universe? Imagine the scene. You're standing outside on a quiet night, gazing up at the stars. Suddenly, one of those stars begins to move. It doesn't twinkle like the others. It grows larger, becoming a glowing object in the night sky, slowly, inexorably getting closer. No longer just a point of light. It's a planet, a world, perhaps larger than Jupiter, on a collision course with Earth. This isn't the stuff of fantasy or distant possibility. Rogue planets, wandering free without a star to orbit, are not just theoretical. They're real, and they're out there. In fact, astronomers believe that there are as many as 100 billion rogue planets drifting through the Milky Way alone. Some may be tiny and icy, others massive and fiery. But no matter their size or composition, their arrival in our solar system would have devastating consequences. At first, we wouldn't even notice the approaching threat. The rogue planet would be far enough away that we wouldn't pick up on it right away. But as it began to draw closer, we would start to see subtle changes in our solar system. Planets far from the Sun, Uranus, Neptune, would feel its gravitational tug ever so slightly altering their orbits. In fact, scientists would first pick up on its approach by observing strange shifts in the outer planet's movements. The data would be perplexing, unsettling, and soon astronomers around the world would be left with a chilling realization: this isn't just another comet or distant asteroid. This is something much bigger, much more dangerous. A rogue planet. But even as the science community works to understand the magnitude of the situation, we, the public, would remain largely unaware of what's happening. That is, until the first signs become visible to the naked eye. By this point, the rogue planet would have grown large enough to be seen as an ominous, ever-approaching object in our sky. It might appear like another moon, an enormous, foreign presence looming overhead. As the days pass, its size and proximity would begin to take center stage in our thoughts and fears. The rogue planet's gravity would begin to affect everything in its path. Its immense mass would create ripples in the solar system, starting with the outer planets and slowly cascading inward. The first sign of danger would be felt by the asteroid belt, located between Mars and Jupiter. This region is already home to millions of asteroids, but the rogue planet's gravitational pull would disrupt their orbits, sending asteroids on an unpredictable trajectory toward the inner planets, including Earth. While scientists would begin working on models to predict the asteroid storm, the true impact wouldn't hit immediately. Instead, there would be a series of near misses, with larger and larger objects getting closer to Earth each day. The first major collision could be years away, but when it comes, it will be cataclysmic. Cities could be flattened, forests reduced to ash, the air filled with debris and dust. The immediate danger would be clear. We would be fighting to survive, racing against time to find ways to protect the planet from the onslaught of rocks and debris. And that's just the beginning. The rogue planet's gravity would continue to disturb the orbits of the inner planets. Earth, once on a stable, predictable path around the Sun, might find itself off course. Even small changes in our orbit could spell disaster. A planet slightly closer to the Sun could cause a drastic rise in global temperatures, melting polar ice caps, flooding coastlines, and unleashing extreme weather patterns. Alternatively, if Earth were to be thrown slightly farther from the Sun, we could plunge into a global ice age. As the rogue planet inches ever closer, the consequences become increasingly severe. The very structure of the solar system begins to shift. The Earth, which has orbited the Sun for over 4 billion years with remarkable stability, is suddenly in a precarious position. A small misalignment could trigger a chain reaction. Earth's orbit could be altered, sending us into a new, unpredictable trajectory. The seasons would no longer be reliable, the climate a battleground of extremes. But perhaps the greatest threat wouldn't come from the rogue planet itself, but from the destruction it leaves in its wake. As it enters our solar system, the rogue planet's movement would disrupt the orbits of other planets. The gravitational forces could send Venus, Mars, or even Mercury careening into dangerous trajectories, threatening to collide with one another or be flung out of the solar system entirely. This cosmic chaos could make Earth's survival increasingly uncertain. Even the Sun would feel the rogue planet's influence. Though the rogue planet itself might not pose a direct threat to the Sun, its presence would disturb the delicate balance of forces that govern the solar system. The Sun's position, the balance of solar radiation, and even the intensity of solar flares could all be affected. The very source of our life, giving energy, could become unpredictable, with life-altering consequences. In response to the growing threat, humanity's best minds would rally together. A global effort to study the rogue planet would lead to breakthroughs in space technology, new methods diverting asteroids, and radical strategies for preventing Earth from being knocked off course. Nations would be forced to put aside their differences, working in unison to find a solution. Could humanity develop a way to stabilize Earth's orbit? Or would we be forced to take extreme measures, like evacuating to the Moon or Mars? Could we harness the rogue planet's presence for good, turning its immense gravitational force into a tool for our survival? As the rogue planet approaches, it brings with it more than just destruction. It holds secrets. Deep within its icy surface could be rare elements or compounds, potentially a new energy source that could revolutionize life on Earth. Could the rogue planet provide us with the resources to rebuild, to start anew? Or would we be too late, the damage too severe? In the final moments before the rogue planet's arrival, humanity would face its greatest test. As the planet grows closer, the urgency would be impossible to ignore. Government would declare states of emergency, global evacuations would begin, and scientists would scramble to find a way to save Earth from total annihilation. And then, it would happen. The rogue planet would make its final approach, reshaping everything in its path. Would Earth survive? Would we find a way to alter our trajectory before it's too late? Or would the rogue planet rewrite the fate of our solar system, leaving us to rebuild from the ashes? The arrival of a rogue planet would not just be a moment in history. It would be a pivotal chapter in the survival of humanity, a test of our ingenuity, our resilience, and our will to fight for survival against forces beyond our control. In the end, perhaps we would emerge stronger, forever changed by the cosmic event that threatened to obliterate us. Or perhaps we would be forced to look to the stars for our future, knowing that out there, beyond our own solar system, other rogue planets might be waiting for their turn to strike. The question remains, will we survive this cosmic catastrophe, or will we become another forgotten chapter in the vast, indifferent history of the universe? The countdown has begun. The clock is ticking.